Welcome back to the Off Campus Podcast, where we're exploring alternate lifestyles to inspire kids coming out of high school to find their passion and pursue it. Today, we're joined by my friend Dominic.
Hey, man.
How you doing?
I'm so good.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear. What'd you do today?
I did so much today. It feels like I didn't do much, but then at the same time, it's just been go, go, go. I had breakfast with a buddy of mine at a diner, so that was delicious. Had some good brekkie.
What diner?
Jimmy K's in Plastow. Dude, their food's good, but it was kind of a tough start with the wind chill killing my car.
Yeah.
It almost didn't start today.
My truck was struggling to start when I was coming here.
It was bad.
And it was only like 9 out when I was coming here. But earlier it was, I don't know, it was like 1 when I woke up.
Yeah, my buddy texted me. I don't know why he just decided to have this knowledge. He's like, yeah, it's negative 107 at the top of
Mount Washington.
I was like,
yeah,
great.
My uncle told me that.
Don't know how that affects me now, but all right, cool.
Some sort of record, so.
Has to be.
That is really cold.
It is really cold. We would die.
Yeah.
Hands down. Dressed like this, we would die.
I think dressed like pretty much anything would die.
You would die.
You can't breathe that air, right?
Is that a thing? If it's too cold, you can't breathe it?
I don't know.
There's a science to that.
There's gotta be.
I need to know.
I want to know. If you're breathing in negative 107 degree air, how is your body gonna process that? Because you're all water inside.
So if it's that cold, you breathe it in, you'll freeze? Just breathing?
Yeah. Or I just assume that your lungs can't take in the oxygen.
I'm kind of feeling stupid for not thinking of that from the start.
I don't know. I could be wrong.
So if it was 107 degrees, hot, would it melt?
Well, 107 degrees hot is... No!
It's just normal weather, right? No.
Yeah, it's always melted. The problem is if it's frozen, if it's not melted, right?
Yeah?
If it's... Never mind.
I was never good at science.
All right, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hey, Joey.
Not to me.
My name is Dominic. I'm a friend of Joey's. We go to church together. It's pretty dope.
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 26 years old. Just turned 26 on the 26th. That's a golden year, apparently.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing. You turn the number of your age on the day of which you were born. So 26 on 26. That's a golden year. I don't fully understand why it's called a golden year, but that's a thing.
I was born on the 30th, so...
So your golden year is in 10 years.
Yeah, it's in a while.
You got a little over.
So what do you do?
What do? I work for my church. I'm the worship director, so I just do the music. I lead worship on a Sunday morning. There's a lot of background stuff, tech-related stuff. So working Pro Presenter, we run a lights program called Light Key. So I do a lot of programming for lights, make them look all flashy and cool and fun.
Oh, yeah.
We use a website called Planning Center. That's just how we get resources and information out to our worship teams or the band and the tech team. So if we need MP3s for practicing and listening, I'll upload those and do the good old YouTube to MP3 converters on Google.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I do.
Super good resource.
It's so easy.
It really is.
It's free.
Unless I also use a program called Ableton, which will run our tracks. So on a given Sunday, you'll have your full band, whether that's drums, bass, vocalists, electric, keys, acoustic. A lot of the big time churches use a lot of things that we can't physically reproduce, like synthesizers and orchestras and 8 electric guitar parts and all these crazy things. So we use tracks, which are just built in waveforms, and you put that into the program, there's your song, and then that plays behind us as we play. We have a click, so we just play with the click.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a lot of background building and stuff like that, but it's cool.
So that's what the earpiece does?
That's what the earpiece does, yeah.
I assumed, because you can't, it's not playing the song in your head, because that's just going to mess you up, but...
A little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's cool. If you ever on a Sunday, you see on stage to my right, next to the keys, you'll see the laptop.
Yeah.
That's running our tracks. And then if I'm ever looking funny towards some of the band members, it's because somebody is off the click.
Oh, really?
Yep. If I'm ever cringing a little bit, looking over, yeah, that's probably because someone's off the click. I'm trying to get them back on. Look at me, focus. There it is.
So you can hear everyone that's going too? Oh.
Yeah, so we have our pack, our in-ear monitor. So just a little pack, clips to the side, plug in your headphones. That is connected to our soundboard, where we can use our phones, connect that to the soundboard through an app. So we use an app called M32Q. and it shows us what you would see. Like here, you have all your different levels, right?
Yep.
That you can adjust. You see that on the app. And all of it's like, all right, here's all the drum mics, here's the guitars, here's the vocalists, here's the effects. And you can mix your own ears. So you can have whatever you want on a Sunday or really for whatever you're doing music for. It's really cool and it's helpful.
Wow. That's pretty interesting. I didn't know that.
It's cool.
So, I didn't need this soundboard. Could just use an app.
You could just use an app.
Well, I didn't buy the soundboard, so it's okay.
It's a nice board. It's cute.
It is nice.
And it has cool effects.
It does have cool effects. We're not going to go into them quite yet. Maybe, though.
Maybe, though.
So how do you go about, because I've noticed, this is actually a personal question.
Sure.
If someone's missing from the band, like a lot of the times, there's not that many people who do drums. So if you're missing a drummer, what do you do?
So I would do my best to find one. I have a lot of people that I'm connected with that I try to be like, oh, hey, man, is your schedule free? But typically they're playing for another church. But I would just load it into the tracks. So I have my whole song built for any time I do a song. So we'll say we do the song Homecoming, right? So if I don't have, our drummer, the drums are already in there. The tricky part is a lot of the time these tracks are recorded live. So when you have the drums, you'll hear little bits of vocals in there, or you'll hear some clapping from the audience. And you have to be really precise because you have to automate and you're adjusting the levels of that individual track. It's not like I can break up the drums because it's recorded as one bit. So I have to bring it up, bring it down, bring it up, bring it down, bring it up, bring it down. And then I have to boost the drums all the way at the same time because we want the room to feel like there's live drums.
Yeah, drums are tough too because I don't know, it's like you can kind of, I don't know, drums are just such like a natural noise. It's hard to get it through from just playing it through like speakers.
Yeah.
It's really different when you're in person and you can hear.
For sure. I mean, it's funny too because we'll always get those comments. Anytime we don't have a drummer, like, wow, man, the drum sounded so good today. That drummer is great. They never messed up. I was like, right? And then we'll throw some shade at our drummer who couldn't make it for whatever reason. But
oh, that's funny.
It's
good.
You
You guys messing around with each other
all the time.
That's awesome. So do you guys have like a group chat with a bunch of people that are in the band? Because it switches up every week, right?
I want to do it, but because there's so many people, I feel like it would just get obnoxious. Like we have like a Facebook page, but we never really use it. And I think that's something we could use as a good resource to communicate. But I just text the people I need to talk to when I need to.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that kind of simplifies it
For
sometimes. Yeah. That must be fun. So what do you do like during the week?
Variety of different things. Most of the time, the beginning of the week, I use that time to make sure Sunday is prepared so that the rest of the week I can use doing whatever needs to be done. So I guess I have Mondays off. So that's my rest day because, we're technically working on Sunday because we're there. I get there around 4:30. No, I'm sorry. I get up at 4:30. I get there around 5:30, 6 o'clock. But then, the work day is Sunday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, that's my day to make sure that practice is ready, Sunday's ready. So I'll go, a lot of times I'm sitting in front of a screen, so I'll make sure Pro Presenter is ready. If I have to build lyrics, then I can upload those and then adjust them to whatever order that the song is in. And then I'll go to the lights and I'll program some lights. But since we do a lot of the same songs every week, that's quick work because then I can just adjust things the way they need to, put them in, upload it, whatever it is, and we're good to go. It only takes about 5 minutes because it's already pre-done. And then the rest of the day, we'll go towards building our tracks. So that's the same thing. I build a song once, and once it's done, it's done. And then I can upload that to my next scene that I need for Ableton and put all the songs that I need in there, make any adjustments I need, take out instruments I don't need, add stuff I need. And then that's done. It's easy. And then the rest of the week, I talk a lot about ministry with Pastor Todd, Pastor Ian. We go through different ideas and things of just progressively going and growing the ministry. I talk to a lot of the bandmates, try to figure out different ideas what to do. We plan a lot of events, like we have our marriage retreat coming up in March. So I'll do a lot of planning for that. And a lot of it's just sitting in front of a computer, trying to brainstorm ideas and watching YouTube videos. Like we do different random love songs. So like last year we did Wild Thing.
Yeah.
We did, what was it? I can't think of the name, and I'm going to feel stupid. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. In the air tonight. That's the name of it. See, all you got to do is sing it. We did that, which was great because we did that for our Friday night message for that marriage retreat. And it worked perfectly for the message too, because it was the talk message.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
great.
For all you lovely married couples, that was the talk. It was awesome. So there's planning on that front. So this year, it's Love Island. Spoilers. Love Island.
Well, I can't go, so it's not really spoiling much for me.
I have to go. It's my job.
Oh, that must be fun.
Oh, it's a blast. I'm trying to get some of the other guys. I don't know how well you know some of the dudes out from Orange at our other location, but I got 2 of those guys coming. I got Dylan Wells coming. So that we're just going to jam out and, enjoy the place we're going to. There's apparently an indoor water park. So when we're not jamming out on stage, we're going to go hang out in the water park.
I can definitely see you swinging on some swings, getting water thrown at you and stuff.
Yeah, that's weird. Swing on some swings?
Yeah, I don't know. That's just what I picture. I'm sorry. Can't help it.
I would totally swing on the swings.
Yeah, I know.
All
I know
day.
you would. That's why I'm saying it.
So we do a lot of planning on stuff like that. We have our night of worship coming up at the end of the month on February 26th. So both of our locations in Orange and in Pelham will have 2 live bands, both locations, playing for those congregations. So this past week, I planned out a bunch of the different songs. So I got a set of 8 songs. So now it's just, all right, these are the songs I want to do. And now I got a resource. I got to make sure that every song has all the information that they need, whether it's chord charts, number charts, MP3s. When I build a song on Ableton, I try to upload and download different portions of it. So I'll try to get MP3s of the click, and then there's also cues. So it'll be like verse, 2, 3, 4, as well as the music. So that's what we hear on a Sunday. So that's what I want them to hear when they're practicing, so they know where they are in the song, they can memorize it, work with it. And so I'm uploading a lot of MP3s during the week. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then a lot of planning, a lot of talking. And then I'll help out with the school from time to time, whether it's substituting, hang out with the kids, whatever they really need me to do. A lot of it's just random grunt work too. So they'll be like, hey, we need you to clean the shed. I'm like, all right, cool, I'll go clean the shed.
It's a good break.
It is a good break. Although
Switching it up a little bit.
I don't want to clean the shed next time, because I cleaned the shed last time. They made a mess of the shed. I spent hours organizing that thing. It's
that sounds about right. So there's a lot of the events are really odd, and it's probably a good position for you to plan events because
it's odd.
Because it's odd and you're creative. Like, you're a creative person, so I'm never been like a super creative person.
Sure.
But I mean, you definitely are. So like the Christmas service, I don't know. I don't even know what to say about that.
That was always so much fun.
Every year.
Dude, a lot of that's PT.
Yeah.
A lot of it's him. He just comes up with ideas. Like, when it comes to my creativity, a lot of my brain goes to more like storytelling, right? And just weird random things like that. But when it comes to trying to like create this service with music and stuff, I may be good at music, but for whatever reason, what Pastor Todd wants, what his vision is, it's just so crazy, and he'll come and be like, man, I saw this church do this thing. We're gonna have zombies. We're gonna do the Thriller, but guess what? It's also the Grinch. And I love it. Let's do it. How do we make it happen? So you saw 2 years ago, we made it happen. It was great.
That was the
so
best.
Cool.
Yeah, my uncle went to that. A few other people went to that who like never go to church, and they said it was the funniest thing they ever seen.
So much fun.
The snowball fight.
Yeah, that snowball fight was great.
Yeah. A lot. So the music. I wanted to talk more about the music because I also had another question. What do you guys do about like practicing? Do you guys do it throughout the week?
Yeah. So there's. When it comes to the worship team, there is a certain level of expectation. So I don't expect perfection, but I expect excellence. So there's a difference in those two things. If you're focusing too much on perfection, you're gonna lose it, and you're gonna make it more about yourself than excellence. Excellence, I just want you to know your parts. Come to practice. We have a Wednesday night practice in Pelham. So whoever's on for that Sunday, we'll practice Wednesday night, run through the songs a couple times. We'll even have, just time to chat and talk, and maybe we'll do a Devo or something, read a section of the Bible and just talk about it. Or we'll just talk about life and catch up and see where everybody's at, kind of like a coffee hour kind of thing, just chat. Then we'll practice, go through the songs and stuff. I'll make sure our tech team's there, so they're running through stuff on the lights, presenter, soundboard. And then Sunday morning we rehearse, and everybody else is expected to learn your parts. If you're gonna, be on this team, come prepared. Spend your time, and that takes sacrifice because everybody has jobs or kids or work, whatever. But sacrifice is what's needed for this kind of ministry, because what we're doing is sacrifice. What we're doing is worship, and worship is humbling because we're giving it up to God. So for everyone on the team, they all spend ample and diligent time at home just practicing. So like today, I was playing a little bit on my piano. Super nice. I love this piano so much. I just got it last week.
Oh, you got a new piano?
I did. So the parents, right, Leanne and Dave, who moved away. So Dave called me while I was at a friend's house for a study, and before it started, he called me. He's like, "Hey, that piano that was down in the basement at the church?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, well, we kept it, and then I was gonna get rid of it at Guitar Center, but they didn't want it because one of the pedals was broken. Do you want it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I would love to have that piano. That'd be great. Can you be at my house?" And he's like, "Yeah, I can be there in like 30 minutes." I'm like, "Cool, I'm 5 minutes away. Just tell me when you're close. I'll come over and I'll help you unload it." So it's like 7:30, and I'm at my friend's house. A bunch of people were talking about Hebrews, and that's a really deep book to talk about in a Bible study. And it's a bunch of young adults and the pastor, and we're all just talking, going through it. Pastor's getting really heavy with the subject, and here I'm getting a text, like looking at my phone, looking down, waiting for it, the text message. All right, right down the street. All right, go. And I don't say anything. I just put my Bible down. I leave. I don't say anything. Drive home. There's Dave talking to my stepdad. We got the piano unloaded. Got to say goodbye to him before he moved away. Got the piano. It's in my room. It's so good. And then I went back to the Bible study and just didn't say anything. Just walked right back in, sat down, continued going.
No one noticed?
Well, they noticed, so they would just wait. They had restraint. So they waited until the end, and they're like, "Dude, where did you go?" I was like, "Oh, I just went home real quick. I had a piano delivered. Isn't that great?" And they're like, "You didn't know?" I was like, "Yeah, it was crazy.
That's
I have
awesome.
a piano."
Yeah. I was thinking of, I used to have a keyboard, and I wanted to bring it because when I had Brad on, Brad plays the guitar, and he's really good at it.
Yeah.
And so what I should have had was brought one of my guitars. I have 3 guitars. I should have brought one and had him play something for us. And it would have been cool to have you, play something on the keyboard.
I totally would have.
But I don't have a keyboard. So
Wait, you have guitars, though?
yeah, I have 3 guitars.
Do you play?
A little bit.
Joey.
I'm not great.
Joey. You play guitar, man.
I actually would really love to like get better at it. I know simple chords and some songs, but yeah.
You should talk to Mark. He would give you some great tips and pointers.
Mark who?
The drummer.
Oh.
Yeah, he's fluent in most instruments. He's a music major. He teaches music at the school. He's crazy good at most things. Music. It's awesome. So he could give you some great pointers.
Yeah.
I don't know how to play guitar. I can play a C, and that's about it. I'm the worst.
You can play what?
I can play a C, and that's about it.
What other instruments do you play?
I play a little bit of the ukulele. I can't play guitar for the life of me. I've tried. They're too bulky, and I just feel uncomfortable trying to. I'm a piano player. I just go like this with my hands, and it makes sounds. I can play a little bit of the drums, so I can keep a beat or do the opening to "We're Not Gonna Take It," because that's what I really want to learn.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I don't know. I don't think I do any other instruments. I beatbox a little bit, so that's kind of an instrument.
Oh, cool.
Then I sing, and that's about it.
Yeah. You got a good voice.
Thanks, man.
I've always I've always loved music, and I'm always the person in the shower, like just singing my lungs out. And
Yeah.
it doesn't sound good, but I don't care. It's fun. It's fun. All right. So we moved a little quick. I kind of wanted to get your general background. So
Okay.
let's say, like, where did you go to high school?
All right. I went to Whittier Tech High School in Haverhill, so it's a tech school. I took electronics robotics was my major, so I was in there for technically 3 years. It's super weird how they run tech schools, and I don't think every tech school does it this way, but Whittier was weird, where when you're a freshman, okay, it made sense. You have to try every shop in order to find out what you like, even if you're there at the school for, like, say, HVAC, but you still have to go through everything. I didn't really know what I wanted to do because I really didn't care. At first, I was like, oh, I'll do electrical because wires, those are cool, but I didn't care enough to do it. So I picked electronics because my people are the nerds. So I hung out with the nerds, and I ended up choosing that, but I only got It's weird. They make you, as a freshman, you have to do 4 periods a day of, like, all right, here's math, history, English, and then you can go to shop. And it's swapped between, all right, you have a morning group and afternoon group, and then they switch and they do their classes, their shops. That was the worst, because then when you're a sophomore up until you're a senior, you have 1 week of just shop and then 1 week of classes, which it made sense, but I thought it was stupid. I'd rather just be in shop all day. But even then, it was, you have to learn some education, but it was good.
Yeah. So what'd you do for college?
Nothing. No, I got out of high school, just wanted to take a break. I was in a weird spot in high school, super depressed and anxious, and I didn't really care about much until senior year. It was like, whoa, I'm breaking out of my shell. Like, I'm changing. And that's when it was like, life's changing now. I can't just not do something. So I graduated with no plan. Just kind of going for it. Full sending it.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I did. I thought I was going to go to Rivier University, and I don't know. I was going to go, and about 2 weeks before like my first class, I just kind of was like, not going.
No.
Sorry. It's not for me. My dad owns a business, so I should just focus on that.
Yeah.
Probably have a better life than I would if I went to college.
Sure.
Went in debt and,
See, I mean, I'm thankful to say I am not in debt, so I don't have to worry about that, because I know how stressful college is, and I know the pastors are trying to get me to go to college, so I probably will end up going to college. I don't necessarily want to, but I'll do it for them. You know?
Yeah.
But they'll help me out and they'll lead me in the right direction, but I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I don't know. School has just never been like I'm horrible at school.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't know. Everything I thought. Every time I would learn something in high school, and I'd spend 7-8 hours a day in school, and then I have to go home and do another 2 or 3 hours of homework.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I don't want to do this.
It's the worst. I have the worst attention span, so trying to focus in school was hard enough. So if I try to go as an adult, it's like my mental state's like half of it's over here while 8 parts are going this way, this way, this way, this way, this way.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
I mean, at least when you're young, all you have is school.
Yeah.
So, but now you have a life, and
You're an adult.
Yeah, you got other stuff going on. So when you're in school, you're kind of focusing on other stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I actually didn't know that you didn't go to college, but that's cool. So what'd you like? Did you get a job out?
Yeah, I did a bunch of weird stuff up until this point. Like, as soon as during high school, I worked for my aunt for a little bit. She owned her own catering company before she passed. It was called Cloverleaf Catering. So my brother and I would work for her, and we would just go work weddings. And there was this nice place in, I think it's Danvers. There's a nice barn that we would go to most weekends to run weddings. So we're just running around the kitchen, cleaning, doing dishes, prepping salads, bussing dishes to and from the main wedding hall, and stacking chairs. They need those across the street for the venue. So just random stuff like that. So I did that for a little bit for her. And then as soon as I got out of high school, as well as a little bit in high school, I worked for my stepdad, who was a professional mover at the time. So we would do these long hauls across the country. So he would, drive the truck, load the truck. There's a motto too: if you're going anywhere, you got to make sure that the truck is full. So before we would go out, we would go to a nearby location, get a job, fill up the truck. If we needed to do, 3 separate loads for the back of the truck, as long as it's full, that's what we got to do before going out. And then we would go all the way across, like down California, Texas, Florida, anywhere really. So we did that for 2 summers. Well, he's done it for forever, not anymore, but I went out for 2 summers. That was really cool because we got to actually see how big the country was. Did you know there's a lot of corn a little bit west of here in a place called Ohio, which, dude, it's when you're in a truck all day, just driving, it's the worst.
Yeah, me and 3 of my friends drove to Florida. 19 hours.
Yep.
We didn't take any breaks. Just gas and going to the bathroom, that's it.
Yeah, so like with breaks, trying to go to Cali is about a week.
Yeah.
It's tough. There's nothing to do. Like, you got to make sure you're entertained. So bring a phone, bring a laptop, make sure it plugs into something, and just go. You don't stop unless you need gas or use the bathroom or get food. But even then, you stack the truck. There's mattresses in the truck. Go sleep most of the time, but then you're not sleeping.
Oh, really?
At night.
That's what you do?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Wow. You don't get a hotel or anything?
No, because the truck is built that big. So in the back, like the cabin of it, you go in, there's your seats, and then right behind you, like there's a space for a mini fridge, a microwave, and stuff. And you go back a little bit more, there's a mattress, and above that is another mattress.
Oh, so it's actually like a designated place to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Actually, so we have started like shipping bikes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know, it expands our customer base.
Sure.
Because we can ship anywhere, or other people. We can use companies to ship. And yeah, we just had someone who had a huge truck. He was shipping like 2 cars and like 4 bikes, and yeah, right behind his little cab, he has a little mattress, microwave, a whole setup. It's super cool.
It is pretty great.
I mean, driving's cool. I kind of know a little bit. Like I drive what some people think is far. Like to pick up bikes, I'll go 2 hours.
Sure.
Like 3 hours max away. And even that's just horrible.
Yeah, if it's the long drives, like say like doing the cross country bit, I'll get tired of it. I don't mind like a good 1 hour, 2 hour drive. I'll just listen to music or put on a book, right on Audible or something, and just go. And that's fine because my brain likes that. You're just driving along. There's no care in the world. You just got to make sure you're doing the speed limit or something. Don't break rules of the road. But there's no worry at that point because you're just listening to stuff, zoning out, vibing, and just having fun.
And on the long rides, it's all highway, so you're just kind of zoned out. You gotta be paying attention
a little bit, especially when you're in a truck.
Yeah,
everybody's against you if you're in a truck. And I learned that real quick watching how people would treat each other on the road. It's everybody swearing at you, throwing the finger, cussing up a storm.
A lot of the times, because I drive trailers, there's not much you can do.
No, there's not.
You just gotta do the best you can and
just wave, just hi. Swear me what you want. I'm just trying to go that way.
Yeah,
leave me alone.
I gotta go there. You gotta go a different way. You're in a smaller car. Move around me.
Yeah,
move around me. I don't have much of a choice here. What else did you do after that?
So much. I went to it was let me think. Summer of 2015 is when I went on the road for the last time with Darren. I got back. I was like, all right, I'm gonna take another break. And then
So how old were you then?
18, maybe 17, 18. I think it was 18 because I graduated 2015, so I think I was 18 then. Yeah, so I was 18 years old, didn't have a direction. I was just kind of doing my own thing. And then my buddy, Tyler, one of my best friends from middle school, was like, hey, why don't you come work with me at this gas station? He worked at Speedway. So I was like, yeah, sure. I mean, whatever. I'll do whatever. So he got me an interview with his manager. I applied, had a great interview with her, and got hired on the spot. And then I was like, cool. So what do I do? She's like, well, come in on Saturday. We'll see how you do. The assistant manager will be there, and she'll hook you up with a shirt and everything. And then I'll be in later in the day. We'll talk. We'll just kind of go through stuff. And I was like, cool. All right. So at the time, I wasn't driving. 'Cause again, in high school, I didn't have any drive at all to do anything. So I didn't have my license, didn't have a car. And that was something that my manager at the time really pressed into me. He was like, look, you got to have goals. You got to do something. So we'll talk about, you getting a car and a license the more we work together, which I thought was super cool because that was almost inspiring in a way. Like, here's a person who's never really talked to me before and appreciated just having that conversation with me. Like, well, you're going to get a car. Like, we'll talk about it. But let's get you into the job first. So I'm from Haverhill, so I'm in one part of town, and I had to walk all the way across town in order to get to work. So that was about, I think, an hour to get to work from where I lived across town. So I did that for a while. So just from the fall season, I walked across town all the way to work, and then it's an hour back. And then winter hit. I still did it during the winter until a certain point. Then my dad was like, all right, let me just drive you so you don't have to walk in the snow. I was like, all right, fine. Okay, cool. So I worked at Speedway for about 2 years. It was weird. You work at a gas station, you see weird things.
I'm sure.
Everybody that goes there, it's either one, they want gas, or they want cigarettes, or lottery tickets, or they're the weird ones that want milk. No one buys milk at a gas station unless you're weird. Because there's a market basket, a freaking Demoulas, right across the street that you can go to get milk. And for whatever reason, it's always the weird people that show up and they want milk at, 8 o'clock at night. That's where they go to get their milk. And you deal with people that are super drunk. people that are high and on drugs. And there's, man, a lot of weird stuff happened there. I remember this one guy showed up, and I was fresh on the scene at the time still. I think I was only there a couple months, but you had to wear this vest, this blue vest if you were the new guy. You didn't get the cool polo shirt that looked nice. It was, no, you got to wear this vest and prove that you're worthy to wear the polo. So I'm out there, I'm cleaning things, and here comes this guy, super tall, skinny, lanky, long hair. They're just cruising around the parking lot. I was like, all right, that's kind of weird. I mean, they're not just passing through like most people do. They're just walking around. And then they go to the back where our dumpster is, and they're just hanging out by our shed. So my manager's like, Dominic, I need you to go out there and go tell that guy to get away from the shed. So I was like, all right, I'm probably going to get shot, but cool. I'll go over there. So I kind of, waddle on over to the shed, and here's this guy just standing completely straight against the shed. I don't know what's going on. So I was like, excuse me, sir, please leave and stop standing next to my shed. And he turns around, just his face, and he goes, hey, never sneak up on a guy taking a piss. And I was like, well, stop peeing on my shed and I wouldn't have to. Please leave. Have a nice day, sir. Goodbye. And I just turned around and left. I was like, what the heck is going on? So I went inside, and he finishes his business, and my manager's like, all right, I'll just get the phone ready just in case. So now here comes the guy just striding on through the parking lot. People are just staring at him. He goes to the other side, because every classic gas station has two sides where you have the pumps. So he's now on the other side, and he's digging through the trash barrel. It's like, what are you doing? So he's digging through the trash. He pulls out this, it looks like a Dunkin' Donuts, one of the see-through cups that they have, and he just starts drinking whatever liquid was in it. So I go out there, because Nancy's like, dude, get him to leave. So I was like, all right. So I step out. I'm like, sir, please stop drinking out of my trash barrels. Have a nice day. Thank you. And he's like, I'll do what I want. I was like, sir, if you can continue to do that, I will call the police. He's like, you're going to regret it. I was like, I guess I am. Bye. Then he just waddles off behind a bridge that's down the street, and he disappears. And I think he might have called that bridge home. I don't know. It was interesting.
Yeah, you must at a gas station
all the time.
Yeah, you just see even me going to the gas station, I see so many weird people.
Yeah, it was. I wasn't like in church at that time. I didn't really care, so I was I didn't know how to handle people yet. It was just, what do I do? Do I tell them off? Like, they're just, I don't get it. So many people would just be angry at you all the time. Is one of the rule of thumb, especially for people that are trying to buy lottery tickets or cigarettes or something, is you have to card them. You have to ask for their ID if they're under the ages of 40. So you can't always tell someone's age just by looking at them. Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna look at you and be like, Joey, you're 20. Like, I don't know. I have to ask for your ID. That's the rule. So any person that comes in, I feel like it's common knowledge. If you're gonna buy those things, you have to have an ID. I mean,
oh yeah, obviously.
And the amount of people that have sworn at me and yelled at me because I'm just doing my job, it was so annoying. I was like, I'm sorry. I want to sell you these cigarettes, these Camels, whatever they're called, but I can't because you don't have your license. I'm sorry. I mean, we accept passports, military IDs. There was obviously your driver's license or state license, but if you don't have any of those, I can't sell it to you. And then they go and go the extra mile. Like, me and my buddy Dom, there's another Dominic who worked with me. We're just having a great old day, just sitting there doing our thing. And here's one kid comes in, asks for, I don't know, it was like Black and Milds or something, or cigars. And it's like, hey man, I'm sorry, I can't sell it to you. You don't have your ID. He's like, all right, well, it's for so-and-so, man. I gotta get. I was like, I'm sorry, I can't sell it to you. You don't have your license. So he leaves. I watch him. He goes to his car, because you always gotta watch where they go, because they're gonna send someone in, because there's a rule as well where you can't sell to someone else who's clearly going to provide it to someone you denied, because that's just as bad. So here comes another guy that comes out of the same car. He's like, hey man, can I get this? I was like, I'm sorry, I can't sell it to you. So why not? 'Cause I watched you get out of the same car that I denied that guy. I can't do it. He pulls out his phone, and now he's trying to film me and my buddy Dom. Like, man, these guys are being discriminatory against us. And the other dude starts coming. He's like, yeah, they are. I was like, I denied you cigarettes because you can't provide an ID. And because of that, I can't sell to you because you're trying to provide to somebody I denied. Like, that's illegal. It's against the law. And they're like, no, it's discrimination. I was like, how? It's not. Like,
go
I'm
somewhere
sorry.
else.
Go somewhere else. And now I have like 8 people waiting in line for gas, and these guys are, putting on a show. And poor Dom was sitting there like, I don't know what to do with this. I was like, it's all right, dude. They'll leave in a minute. So they finally left, and the whole crew of people that are waiting, they're like, You handled that nicely.
Yeah, they probably felt horrible for you.
They were honestly, they were wicked nice. All the other people, because they knew it's like, man, you're just doing your job. That's all it is. It's not like I want you to have a bad day. I actually had a motto. I want to make sure you have a good day. So I want to try making people laugh and smile. So I would try to just be positive, to them. But those guys didn't want to roll. They were going to freak out because they couldn't get their stuff, and they left, and it's unfortunate. I even denied like a 60-year-old man because he wanted to get something for someone that I denied. He's like, but I'm this old. You're not going to card me. I was like, I don't have to. I wouldn't have carded you if you didn't come in with this guy, but I watched you.
Yeah.
I watched you do it, and it's a bummer.
Yeah, and you always have the right to deny it.
Mm-hmm. Every time.
Like, what are the police going to do? They're just going to be like, dude, leave.
Leave. Exactly. Like, I don't want to call the cops, and I've
Yeah.
had to. We had
Oh, boy.
we had one employee, unfortunately. He was a really good guy, but he decided to shoot up on shift once. And I feel really bad because I really liked the guy. Like, he was a really nice guy. And he was from a town where my family are from, so we had a lot of connection there. And, he just decided one day, I'm training a new girl. She's in the back on the computer training. She's like 18 years old. At this point, I'm like 20. I've been there for like 2 years. So there she is training. Here's this guy. And he's like, I'm going to shoot up. So he gets on the floor and he shoots up. I don't see this happening. She's texting me like, hey, I think this guy's like on drugs. So I was like, okay, hold on a sec. I get the phone and I'm calling my manager. It's like, hey, I think so-and-so is quacked out of their mind right now. Because now here he comes waddling up to the front. He's just kind of looking around. Looking at everything in the store, and he goes to the ice cream, and he starts taking all the ice cream out of the fridge, and he's putting it on the counter in front of me. I was like, what are you doing, man? He's like, just having a snack. And he opens one up, he starts eating. I was like, you're to pay for that, right? He's like, what? No, not what? No, I don't have to. And he starts, looking off in the distance. Now he's falling over, and he's falling into the lottery box, and I'm thinking, dude, what's going on? Like, I've never dealt with a guy who's literally high at the moment, and I'm trying to like pick him up and hope no customers come in, and I'm cleaning everything up and trying to get him to stand up. And then I was like, hey man, why don't you go sit down in the back? And I told the girl to come sit up front, and thankfully my buddy, my hero, he shows up, the kid who got me the job. He and another friend of ours, they came to visit me on shift. I was like, okay, friend number one, I need you to get behind the register, clock in, and handle it while I handle this. He's like, okay, got it. I was like, friend number two, you gotta go because it's about to go down. I don't know what's happening. He's like, okay, we'll check up on you later. I was like, great, love you, bye. So my friend left, and then my other buddy, he got behind the register, clocked in, started handling things beautifully. And I called my manager, like, all right, what do you want me to do? And she's like, all right, call the cops, ask him to go outside, wait for his ride because his shift's over. Just do whatever you can to just keep the situation low. So I was like, all right, cool. So now I'm out in the back, and here's the guy digging through the trash. I don't know what he's doing. He's just digging through the trash under the desk in the office, and it's like, hey man, what are you doing? He's like, oh, looking for something. It's like, all right. And I look in his hand, he had a needle. He had like the full syringe in his hand. I was like, oh no. So I'm like, here, man, why don't I just gently put my hand on his back. I was like, why don't you let me take that? And I took it out of his hand. He didn't fight. I don't even think he noticed that I took it. Mm-hmm. And I just put it in my back pocket. It's like, all right, man, why don't you get your things and wait for your ride outside? All right, man. He's like, what? And I, walked away, hid the syringe. And then now he's hustling and bustling. He's getting all angry. And I came out, I was like, listen, I need you to wait outside. He's like, why? What? And he just got angry at me. I was like, oh, please don't yell at me. I don't want this. And he started losing it. So I called the manager again. It's like, she asked, did you call the cops? Like, yes, I did. I called the cops. They're on their way. The cops are coming. I'm waiting for them. He's still doing his thing, being angry. He's like, why are you asking me to leave? I was like, I just need you to stand outside, man. And he just started cussing at me, swearing at me. He's like, why? You have no reason. I was like, my lid just flew right off at that moment. I was like, listen, you just shot up in front of an 18-year-old. You're stealing things from the counter. You're trying to eat ice cream. I don't know why you're just grabbing ice cream. You need to go outside right now. You just need to get out. And he's looking at me like, I didn't shoot up. I was like, what was the syringe I took from your hand? He's like, those are my uncle's. He's a diabetic. It's like, all right, cool. No worries, man. You know what? Just go wait outside. And then he finally went outside, came back in, started thinking that I stole his backpack, which he left to the right of the counter. He finally finds it, and then he's now looking for his phone. I don't know what he's doing, and he starts emptying his pockets. I noticed he had an odd amount of cigarettes in his pocket. which I thought was weird. And I didn't put it together to the next morning, and I'll get to that. And he's got a knife on him. He's got all this crap that he's just laying out on the desk. I was like, I'm going to die. He's going to stab me. Like, this is what's going to happen. This is it. I died trying to rescue my gas station. This is great. But again, he's staring at me the whole time while he's looking for his phone. I was like, you're supposed to be looking down if you're going to be looking for your phone. But he calmed down, grabbed his stuff. He went outside, and just his ride picked him up. The cops pulled in, stopped him. So the last I saw is that he left and the cops let him go, and I talked to the cops. They took my statement, and then they came back the next morning. So I gave them the syringe the next morning, but then I found in the back, in the closet, he had left a bag of more syringes and a ton of cigarettes that he was stealing from the back room. All of it was like from our, I noticed I did a recount. I was like, he was actually stealing.
Wow.
He had all these packs of cigarettes in the back. I was like, dude, we gave you a job. Like, I was part of, interviewing you. Man, you were great. And then why? No. And I get it. Like, people mess up. It is what it is. But I felt so bad because when we gave him his last check, like, we heard he spent a night in jail, whatever. It's like, but you left. Did the cops go to your house? I don't know what happened. I feel really bad. I hope the guy's doing well. I really do. But man, that was crazy. I thought I was going to die. I thought the girl was going to die. I thought someone was going to die, especially when he pulled the knife out of his pocket. And it wasn't like he was being threatened. He just nimbly put it out on the desk when he was trying to funnel for things. But gas stations be crazy.
Yeah. And especially when someone's like so out of their mind like that, it doesn't even matter who the person is. Because no matter how nice of a person they are, I mean,
you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know.
They're on something. You don't know what they're going to do.
It was crazy. I went back and watched the camera footage on the security cameras. And I went back and just watched him and what he did. Like, he's flirting with this is a 30-year-old man, and he's flirting with this 18-year-old. And then he ends up he kept going into that back room, that closet where he left his bag. He came out and just awkwardly, right next to the desk, just lies down on the ground. I think that's when he started shooting up, because he just kneeled down and went forward. And he's out for like 10 minutes. And that's when he started getting all crazy. But it was, wow.
Yeah, what a story.
Dude, it was nuts.
I was going to compare your gas station job to working customer service at Home Depot.
It's different.
I'm not sure it's comparable anymore.
I'm sure you get some interesting people at Home Depot.
The point that I was going to compare it to is that, people get mad at you.
Yeah.
And then usually everyone else in line's like, I'm sorry.
Yep.
I'm sorry that guy was being like that. Like, you're doing great.
Yeah.
Well, that's really crazy. I was going to ask too if you had any gas station stories, because I've heard a couple. You've told me a couple, but definitely nothing like that. Wow, that's something.
We got robbed too.
Really?
Yeah.
While you were there?
Thankfully not. So we got robbed twice within 2 weeks, and I think it was the same guy. And this is when I was working. My first manager had left. We went through 5 managers while I was there. At one point, I became the assistant manager. Never ended up becoming the manager. I should have, but it just wasn't worth the time and the effort. But, again, we went through 5 managers. My first manager had left by this point. And then my current manager, Vinny, he was great. I loved the guy. I thought he was great. We would play Left 4 Dead with each other on Xbox and stuff out of shift. And he and I had a good time when we were on shift together, but I don't think he was there the first time. So I had left for the day, and the girl that was on shift, I think it was with my buddy Tyler. Tyler had just gone across the streets to get food from Demula's, and the new girl, had to have been like 2-3 weeks in maybe. She was sitting there doing her thing, and here comes this guy wearing a mask, puts a gun on the table, and then does the classic, give me all the money in the register. So she gives him all the money, and he leaves, and she calls the police, and Tyler calls the management, and now Tyler's calling me, and he's like, dude, I don't know what to do. My manager's calling me. What do we do? I was like, all right, well, everybody calm down. Like, let's go to work, and let's figure out what the problem is. So I ended up going into work. My previous manager showed up to help handle the situation. So now I'm just there to help run a register, make sure everything's good. And the poor girl, they had to fire her on the spot, because there's a rule of thumb. You have to have a certain amount of money in the register. If you have over, like, you can't. You have to take it and put it in the safe.
Oh.
She had more than she was supposed to in the register. So we lost a lump sum because of that theft. So they had to let her go, which I felt really bad about. But she was new, but I still think you know better because it's routine. You know, we teach you like, hey, every 20 minutes, check your register. Even if you have customers tell them, hey, I got to do this real quick, and you put stuff away in the safe. And it's like a vending machine. It just goes right in. So it's quick and easy. So it only takes a couple seconds, but you have to do the routine. So she didn't do the routine, and that's the consequence of it, But the 2 weeks later, my buddy Vinny, who was the manager at the time, was like, hey man, you should stay and just, I'll take you home, when I'm done here. It's only like another hour. It's like, it's all right. I mean, by that point, I'll be home as soon as the hour's up. So don't worry about it. So I had left, and maybe 30 minutes, an hour later, whatever it was, guy walks in, new hoodie, new mask, but says they have a gun, and then asks for all the money. And my manager who was there, he just looked up and looked at the guy, and he's ex-military. So he wants to go battle mode. And I was like, dude, you should have, but you can't. Especially in Massachusetts, if he had done anything defensive in any way, maybe even stopped the guy, if he hurt him, he would have gotten in trouble. And so it's like, you can't, you just no life is worth it, which I agree. No life is worth it. So just give the money over. Yeah. Let them have the money. It's not worth losing anybody. So the guy took the money, he left, and Vinny, he went after to try to see if he could see the car, and he got into a van, and, the van left. But then he was super upset. He actually ended up getting in trouble just sharing with the district manager who oversaw all the different stores in our area. He was just expressing like, man, I was angry. I was frustrated. I didn't know what to do. Like, I wanted to do something about it. And she gave him like a write-up for expressing that he wanted to do something.
Really?
Are you kidding me?
Especially an ex-military.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
I felt bad. It was crazy.
I would feel the same way. Like, I'd want to do something, but I wouldn't know what to do. Mm-hmm. I mean, if they have a gun,
I don't know. See, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Because you know how you have like the fight or flight response? Mm-hmm. So I always thought that was a fascinating thing. It's the whole theory like, all right, a wolf's coming at you. You're going to do one of two things. You're either going to run away or you're going to fight it. And that's period. But then you have me. I'll just sit there and think about it. I'm just gonna look at it, look at the problem. Can I run from this? Can I fight this? Maybe we can all just talk about it. Yeah. And that's just how my brain works. Like, I remember one night I had just got out of the shower. My mom was making popcorn, and she forgot to put popcorn in the pot. So it's just oil. Somehow the oil caught on fire, and now here's my mom with this pot of fire just in the middle of the kitchen. My sister's panicking. She's panicking. Now I'm sitting there staring at it like, wow, you lit a pot on fire. That's cool. Put it out. And now my mom, who's still panicking, rightfully so, she does have fire in her hands, starts heading towards the sink. Now, for anyone who goes to tech school, you know that you get OSHA certified. OSHA is the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. So you take this 10-hour to 30-hour test of just everything safety, and you know that with a fire, an oil fire, you do not put water in an oil fire. Here's mom going to the sink and Amelia yelling, water, water, water. So my sister hits the faucet. My mom puts the pot under the faucet. Boom, the fire explodes. It goes all the way up to the ceiling. And I'm just like, wow, it's beautiful. I didn't think I would die this way.
Let me take a picture.
That was, honestly, it's everything slowed. Because, here's mom at the sink, my sister hitting the faucet, me going, no, no, no. And then fire explodes. Wow, it's beautiful. I wonder why my sister's running behind me. There's no exit back there. She's going to die. And just, I didn't really know what else to do but to kind of like sit there and stare at it. So I just finally, when time came back, I was like, Mom, cap it. Put the lid on it. Put it outside. We're done. That's all you have to do. And it was quick fix. But it's like moments like that. I just freeze. I think about it. I'm not scared. It's just I have to think about it. So if I was there, I don't know what I would have done. I don't think I would have fought the guy if I was there and he's robbing the store. I think I would just stare at him and be like, what are you doing? Like, really? Yeah. What do you, like, you want $200? Maybe even like $1.50? You're not going to get much. I mean, if that's what you need in the moment, sure, do your thing, man. I'm sure you do have a weapon, but like, why?
Why would you do that?
It's not worth it.
Yeah, that's funny. Actually, it's not only fight or flight. Fight, flight, flock, or freeze.
Ooh.
Or freeze, yes.
What's the flock?
Flock is like get together in a group.
Okay. Yeah,
So
yeah.
you might run to people that, I mean, I guess it's kind of flight as well, but not really, because strength in numbers,
Sure.
you might just
So
get
it's-
defensive and
It's like flight to fight, because if you run to the
Yeah.
numbers and the numbers are not fighting, yeah.
so fight, flight, fight to fight, and
Flight to
freeze.
fight. Yeah.
I guess you're more of a freezer.
I'm a freezer.
You're a freezer.
I'm not even cold though. I'm just kind of I'm cold right now. Jeez, it's -degree weather outside. But
yeah. We won't talk about in here. It's warm in here. It's like 80.
definitely warm in here. It's toasty
That's why I'm wearing a hat.
like the sun.
Yeah.
I'm
The
riddled.
sun is pretty warm.
It is.
Well, we went off on a little bit of a tear there
My bad.
for a while. No, that's good. So, a little bit of an odd segue into another thing, but how did you know that music was your passion?
I did.
And when?
It was so. Music is kind of just something that was a part of my family. Everybody, at least in the close relation, my dad, my mom, my siblings, we all had some sort of musical talent, whether it was just, I picked up the piano at one point, or my brother would play piano, my sister would play a little bit of piano, and then they would all move on to their own things. My sister, beautiful singer. She's got one of the greatest voices I've ever heard. And I'm not just saying that because she's my sister. Like, she is tremendously talented. She worked hard to get the vocals she has. And my brother, he can pick up a guitar and play pretty well and can sing a little bit. My other brother could do that screaming like do the crazy metal stuff, which I always thought was cool. And I think he played a little bit of guitar. I knew I could always sing, but I was super shy. And I had super bad stage fright. I still do. I hate it. It's the worst.
Really?
Yeah. Anytime I get on stage, I get sick to my stomach, but then it just kind of goes away when we focus. But I learned a few like basic, your beginner songs on piano when I was a kid, like Chopsticks, Heart Soul, stuff like that. But it wasn't until high school where I was like, Peter, to my brother, can I use your piano? He's like, yeah, sure. So I stole his keyboard and I just started learning stuff from YouTube. I wanted to be good at something. Like, I wanted something to draw my attention. So I was like, all right, so I'll play piano. I watched those videos where you just watch the notes fall on the piano, and I would just memorize it and play it over and over and over again. So the first song I learned was Apologize by One Republic.
Oh, that's a great song.
It is a super good song. So I learned that, and then I learned Demons by Imagine Dragons, and then Sail by, I don't know how you pronounce it. Is it AWOL Nation or Owl Nation?
I don't even know that song,
It's
don't think.
classic. You'd know it if you heard it. It's really good. It's got that classic, the dun 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 dun, and you hear someone in the background yell, Sail!
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you got it. It's a really good song.
The,
That one,
2014 YouTube edit thing.
Yes. That song was a hit. Anytime we'd play it during music class in high school, people were like, Sail! And they'll scream. It was great. And that's why I did it, because I just wanted to enjoy something with other people, because I was in such a I sheltered myself in high school because of the problems I was dealing with. So by the time I was a senior, it's like, all right, I got this thing. I'm kind of good at it. It can connect me with other people that I would like to be friends with. So that's what I'm going to do. And I would play piano loudly so people could hear it. And then we would talk about it. And then we'd enjoy it together. And then we'd all start screaming, Sail! And it was good.
awesome.
But I picked up piano then. And then I just played it off and on for a couple of years until I started going to church, a local church called Granite United. In 2016, my sister and I went together, and we both joined the band. Within the first few months that we were there, they heard I played piano, so I was like, yeah, no, I guess I can try. I didn't know chords then, but the worship leader there was like, here's this piece of paper, it has all of the chords, learn it. So I was like, okay. He gave me a keyboard that was there at the church, and I learned a song in about 30 minutes by just memorizing the chords, playing it. And then he's all right, come up and play. Played it, and he's like, cool, you're gonna audition with Greg, who's the worship pastor of Granite, and then we'll get things rolling. So it's like, awesome. And then joined the team and just been a part of music ever since then. I didn't know I was gonna be a worship director one day, but it was, hey, now you're doing this.
That's cool. So it kind of just happened.
It kind of just happened during my Speedway days too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I worked at Speedway during 2015, and then it was late winter, early spring when I started going to Granite with my sister, and then we got involved. So all those difficult, situations I had to go through at Speedway, I benefited my time at church because it changed me in a way where it's like, okay, now I can kind of handle situations a lot more politely and respectfully because I had a new love for people, but it was tough. But music was a part of it.
Yeah, that's crazy, especially in Haverhill too. There's got to be some
Haverhill's funny. I love Haverhill, and I don't think I'd ever want to leave unless I was, called out to go somewhere for whatever reason. But Haverhill's just fun. It's just a silly place.
Definitely interesting.
Yeah.
What do you normally do in your free time?
Sleep.
Really?
Yeah, I sleep. I try to take naps. I don't sleep well at night, so I try to just take naps or just hang out. I don't really play video games as much as I used to. Sometimes I do, and if I do, I'm on it and I don't stop, and I get really committed to it, and then I know I have to stop because I'm putting too much time into it. Or I'll go and I'll play piano or read a book, or collect Legos because those are the best. Any person that knows Lego is going to say it's called Lego. They're right because Lego is plural, but Legos just sounds better to say.
Lego is plural?
Lego is plural, yeah. It's weird. So, Brian from church.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll come up to you and be like, it's Lego, and try to be all smart about it. And I'm like, whatever, dude. I have more than you. And I call it Legos. I always have as a kid, and I like calling it Legos. I don't care if it's improper grammar, but it's better. So I build a lot of Legos, especially when I can't sleep. I'll just be in my room and build a whole collage on the floor. Just everything that I have is boom, there it is. It's just a weird mess and amalgamation of things.
That's cool. About the sleep, actually. Two things. Because, you wanted to talk about dreams.
So fun.
And I guess this also kind of has something to do with it, is I was going to ask if you take melatonin. Because you're having trouble sleeping. But I know now, because I just recently started taking melatonin, those dreams... They're crazy.
They're trippy.
They are.
I can't do melatonin anymore because I only have bad sleep because of how I've lived my life over these so many years. As a kid, I hated sleeping with the light off because I was always scared. So I had a light on, and then it would go to the point I was like, all right, well, I have to fall asleep with something playing in the room. So I would listen to audio tapes, and then when I got a PlayStation, I started watching movies as I slept, and then the light went out, but I still have the TV going. So all that light over the years, because I would always fall asleep with the TV on at that point, even with the light out. You're still getting those blue lights that are just affecting your brain, your eyes, and your sleep. So now you're not getting the proper sleep that you need because your brain's still kind of active, and it's also still hearing things. Even though I may have found it soothing and my body adjusted to it, it still had its hardships trying to stay asleep. And then when I went through my cycle, I went through 4 or 5 different types of jobs before I worked at the church, and every job changed my sleep cycle. Whether it was getting up really early or getting up later, my sleep was up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So now, to this day, I am awake every other hour during the entire night.
Really?
Yeah, so just up and down, up and down. And I've tried melatonin, but melatonin makes me talk to myself. It's like taking NyQuil Z. It's the worst because I'll wake up and I'll still think I'm dreaming. I had this cat once. His name was Charlie. He was the best cat. I know some people don't like cats. That's whatever.
I love cats.
He was the best cat because we had a mutual respect. If he didn't want me to pet him, he would let me know by biting my hand. And then I put my fist in his face, and then he'd lick my hand and know, okay, he means business. We had a respect. So I remember one night I was on NyQuil Z. I woke up, and he's sitting there right in front of me, and I had a full-length conversation with him because I thought he was the person I was just talking to in my dream. And I just, hey, yeah, no, I was driving one time, and I was going down the road, and whatever. It's this random conversation. And then I just fell right back to sleep.
Wow.
That was NyQuil Z. Melatonin makes me groggy, and it will help me fall asleep, but it won't keep me asleep. So I'll wake up, and I'll just feel really heavy and just awkward and uncomfortable.
That's weird. Yeah, I don't know. Melatonin's helped me because I had this. I don't know why. I did just move rooms. So Izzy just recently moved out. So I took her room. It's way bigger. And
Smart.
But I would be waking up literally 4 or 5 times a night.
Yeah.
For no reason. And so I just started taking melatonin, and it's helped a lot.
I wonder if it's just for you. It must have been just readjusting to the atmosphere of the room.
Could
and
be.
Being in a new space, because I know I have that problem anytime I have a bad habit of not being consistent with where my bed is in my room. I've moved it 6 times since I've moved to the side of the house that I'm on.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I wanted to try different things. It's like, all right, well, here's up against the wall, here's out in the open, here's in a smaller room. But it's your body just readjusts to the room. It's weird.
Yeah. I don't know. I need to wean myself off. I don't think, anything like that. I don't think I should have to depend on melatonin to sleep.
I think just
I want
healthy
that.
habits would just make it easier. Just not. I don't know what it's like for you. You're probably healthier than I am, and it's something that I want to get better at. And it's why I cut fast food out of my life, because that's just one step, right? But it's healthy eating. Working out, doing different things like that will just help your sleep, because you'll actually be tired.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things for me, which I want to fix, I haven't yet. I haven't started yet, and I really, really should, is just putting my phone away before I go to bed.
I can't do that yet. It's tough.
I know, same here. I need, because the tough part for me is I could easily do that and just read a book for 30 minutes before I go to bed, but I listen to audiobooks.
Yeah.
So I can't sit and read a paperback book. So even like if I'm reading the Bible before I go to bed or something, it's on my phone. So it's, I don't know. It's just not good for you.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the reasons why. But I've done that for years and years and years. It's just not good for you.
I try to cut down on things like that. Like, I don't have Facebook or Instagram on my phone anymore. So the only time I check it now is just on my laptop. So I don't keep that with me, right? So I'm not on my laptop all the time, because you don't want to sit there and scroll. It's easier to be on your phone because you can just quickly scroll on things. So now I don't have, Facebook or Instagram to look at anymore on my phone. So at least it kind of helps. So just, all right, now I don't need to think like I need my phone. So when I first removed Facebook, I really noticed how much I would just open my phone just to open my phone.
Oh, yeah.
For no
you're just
reason.
doing it out of instinct by that point.
And now, I don't do it anymore. So now I'll just leave my phone in different rooms because there's nothing to look at unless I'm getting an email or a text that I have to check. But other than that, there's no point in having it.
Wow, that's interesting. I really should try and do that. The thing with, I don't know. I don't really go on Instagram much, though, or Facebook. I do on Facebook because, we check Marketplace a lot for bikes.
Yeah.
So I kind of need that. But I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's a good idea. Just, social media is so
Toxic?
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be.
There's a lot of different ways. Like there's two extremes. It can be really, really good for you, and it could be just horrible.
Oh, for sure.
I think for like 90% of people, it's just horrible.
It was cool for what it was supposed to be. Just a way to connect with people around the world. I love that. It's awesome. You get to just kind of scroll and see what people are doing. And it kind of gets a little superficial and a little silly when people's like, well, this is what I'm eating today. Here's a brisket. I was like, cool. That's I guess that's okay. That's interesting. But when you have people now, it becomes either a political warfare on Facebook or Instagram. It becomes a religious warfare, or it becomes whatever. It's all these different things that now it's just arguments and toxicity and people throwing their beliefs or whatever it is all over. It's like, I don't really want to see that. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. So now I'm just unfollowing a ton of things just so it cleans house.
Well, it's either that or like people just, I don't know. There's people who post like cool stuff that they do.
Yeah.
And on one hand, they could just be doing it just for attention, which a lot of people do, and that's unhealthy for them. Or on your end, you might just be like, wow, I'm lame. I see all these people going, they're in Florida, they're having a great time on the beach, and I'm just here working and doing nothing.
Just doing nothing.
Yeah. But you compare yourself to others, especially like when they're doing stuff that you think is cool and you're just not able to do it. So even if they have good intentions, they're just trying to show people what they're doing.
Yeah.
You can take that negatively.
Right.
A lot of people do. I think most people do.
Where does that fall on, though? When you think about comparison, is it really their fault if they have good intentions, just sharing, or is
no? I don't
right?
think it is. I don't think it is. I think it's great. Like you said, I think social media. That's the cool thing about social media. You can just show people what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you're doing something cool or you think it's interesting, go ahead, post it. But there's a lot of people that are just gonna I think there's a lot of people that shouldn't look at social media.
For sure.
Posting on social media or looking at social media can be good. There's a lot of education on it. You can't really believe everyone, but
No.
there is a
No,
lot
you
of people like a lot of the people who go to the gym and it's probably good to listen to them, especially with diet and exercising and stuff like that. So, which can inspire you, but then there's other people that you might be watching their lives and they have a different circumstance and they're not always as happy as you think they are.
Yeah. And that's tough because especially we have influencers. This is the season and the era for influencers. So am I really being influenced by the right stuff? Because all these people may be producing like, man, you just gotta love and be right, and do things that make you happy and this and that. But it's like, you're doing that, but are you truly happy? And they'd be the first ones to tell you no. Like, I've asked those people, are you? And they'd be like, no. So why do you do it? Is it you are making other people happy and that doesn't make you happy? So what's the point in doing it?
Yeah. Actually, this is one thing I wanted to talk about on the pod for a while.
Okay.
And it just never came up. But the love yourself culture, what are your thoughts on that? Because I have very specific thoughts, but I want to know yours.
So I look at it in two ways. One, I do look at it in a way of faith, and I also look at it in just reality. Like, you don't need to love yourself. You already do. And when you look at just... So the golden rule, right? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It says that because you want people to treat you how you would treat yourself. You want people to naturally treat you good, but you can't expect everybody to show you love. You can't force it. You can't, make it a law. You can't make it a belief system, but we all want to be loved. So we think that we need to love ourselves because other people aren't loving, but you already do. You don't need to consciously love yourself because your body naturally is driven to take care of itself. Like when you think of the natural way for a human is to survive. Yeah. So that in itself is kind of its own natural love in itself for you as a person. But when you look at it from a standpoint of faith, God says, love God, love others. He never once says love yourself. He does say love people as you would love yourself because he knows you already love yourself.
Loves themselves, yeah.
But if everybody loved each other enough, you wouldn't have to think that you need to love yourself. So if I loved you enough and just hung out with you, was authentic towards you all the time and try to just show you the kind of love that you need, you would never need to think I need to love myself. But then we break down love into this whole other algorithm of, well, there's different ways to love. The Greek alphabet, not the Greek alphabet, but the word for love in Greek has 4 different meanings. You have, I can't remember all 4. It's like one is brotherly love, one is natural love, one is erotic love, and one is unconditional love. And then you break that down, you have, there's love languages, and, whether it's touch, quality time, acts of service, words of affirmation, gift giving. So, okay, you receive a love a certain way, but you also give a love a certain way. And it's just this whole thing. But then people think that love is an emotion. And they think, I need to feel love, but love isn't a feeling. Happiness is a feeling. Love is an action. It is a consistent, you have to put work in order to love. And people don't want to do that because they think love is an emotion. They need to feel a certain way. They need to trust their feelings when feelings are deceiving. Just because you feel something, that doesn't make it right. And that's where we fall. You don't need to love yourself because the world should love you. But then we also now get to the argument of, well, they don't love this about me. Not everyone's going to agree about something. That doesn't mean they shouldn't love you. They just don't agree with 1 or 2 things, right?
Yeah, there's 2 things that, I agree with everything you said. The whole love yourself culture, it's so self-centered, and it really it's just so selfish. And I think our generation's the most selfish generation, and everyone just thinks they're the main character. They think they're entitled to everyone else treating them perfectly.
Yeah.
And the second part is when people say love yourself, obviously you love yourself, right? But when you expect someone else, or when you love someone else, that doesn't mean that that person's perfect. And so when you don't receive love from someone, a lot of the people who say it, actually, let me word it like this. So we all have issues with ourselves, and we all have sins that we have trouble with, and but I think a lot of people use the love yourself culture and everyone should love you as an excuse for the mistakes that they make in life, and for the wrong things that they do to other people,
right?
Because they don't want to take responsibility for them. So I think that's part of it, and that's pride. Just thinking you're perfect and everyone should cater to you. But then you notice those people who are always saying love yourself, they're never nice to anyone else.
It's tough. I don't know. I mean, because you are right. When you look at each generation as a fault, every generation has their faults and has things that they messed up on, and because each generation has their set of where they failed, now they look at the next generation, but they're not looking at what they failed at. They're looking at how bad we are. So like me and a couple people will joke all the time, and I have older friends will be like, well, that's what's wrong with your generation.
Yeah.
But which it's we'll joke, but at the same time, like, yeah, there is a lot wrong with my generation, but there's a lot wrong with your generation. But if we're only, even at that, like that in itself is a skewed view when we're only looking at generations and the issues that they have, because I have issues, you have issues, we all have problems that we have, but we now are not only lingering on this idea that we need to self-love, but we're also using our issues as an identity, and we're sticking to it, and we're worshiping it and thinking that because I have these problems, whether we can label them with the isms or the whatever, but are you going to grow from it? Are you going to try to get over those problems? Or are you going to be like, well, I have X, Y, and Z, so you have to treat me a certain way because I have X, Y, and Z, and not fix the problem.
Exactly.
There are certain things that we cannot fix as human beings that hands down I would agree with. But most of the time, a lot of things we've kind of figured out. We just don't want to do the legwork, regardless of what the situation is love me for who I am. But are you who you are? 'Cause I feel like people don't know who they are, because if they did, we wouldn't have all this identity issue. And then falling back to loving yourself, or people loving you how you want to be loved.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can't... Those same people, you can't expect love if you don't reciprocate it back. I got it. That's my problem. I need to fix that. Yeah, I mean, just the love yourself culture is just, I don't know, it's killing us.
It's going to be a battle for the rest of our days on this earth. I think, for a while, at least.
I don't know, the best way to fix it is like just do something. I don't know. I talked about it on the other pods, but you got to do something that's not easy and that can humble you. Because if you do something that you're not good at, like if you try something new, I mean, I'm not going right now. I'm gonna get back. I'm trying to get back into shape for it. But jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, I don't know. I kind of started doing it just because I didn't have much I was doing, and I needed something like that. I needed something to kind of push myself. But I go in there, everyone's 30 years old around. They're all really good. And I walk in there, I know nothing. I did wrestling in high school for 2 years, but I mean, that's nothing. Like, you don't know anything at that point. So you go in, and it really humbled me.
Right.
It really humbled me. And then it makes working out a whole lot easier, because I'm like, I want to be like these people. And it just, when you're around people who are exceptional, you kind of, your habits change to what they do, and you'll end up being exceptional.
Sure.
Or that's the goal.
Right.
That's the goal. So, and it makes it easier, and you don't really care about what other people think of you. And then I don't know. And I think a lot of tying back to the love yourself thing, I think if you don't think you love yourself enough, just look at other people and see how much they love themselves.
Right.
And then you're human too.
Yeah.
You're going to feel like that. And if you're not happy, that's different from loving yourself. So if you love yourself, everyone does. But if you spread love to others, that's going to give you happiness. And then you're going to be like, oh, so it wasn't loving myself that I needed. It was happiness, which I got from helping other people happy.
Right.
Dude,
that's good. Like when you think about, where happiness stands, where happiness lies, right? It in itself, it's an emotion, and it's a crave. Happiness is an addiction.
Yeah.
And when we don't have that happiness, we call it a lack of love. We think that, okay, well, when we don't have this happiness, this lack of love, it's now what's going on in my life that's causing this. Am I not doing something, or are people not doing something? Is it because my job's bad, or it's really good, but there's people there that are doing something, whatever it is? But it shouldn't be about even the happiness, when we think about, the hardships in our lives, how are we conditioning ourselves for joy? And even joy is a deceiving thing in a way where how it's perceived. Joy is a conditioning of the heart.
Well, I think joy, I'll let you go on, but
Sure.
I think joy is a lot of the times people think of it as equal to happiness.
Right.
I think happiness is the feeling that you get when you are full of joy. So joy is a choice, happiness is a feeling. So go on.
No, dude, that's spot on, because when you do condition your heart for joy, it's about having that attitude of gratitude, and regardless of the hardships we go through, like we're all going to go through stuff, right? And, we've talked about it, off, in group on Thursday night that we go to, and we go through 1,000 things. And I've mentioned this before to a lot of friends, like, I hate the saying, there's always light at the end of the tunnel, because for me, I've gone through situations like, all right, I'm in the tunnel, there's that light, and it's a train, and then I get ran over by the train, and then I'm able to, I can get myself up a little bit after that hit, and then I go and I continue through the tunnel, and boom, now the tunnel branches off into 4 different tunnels, and there's a train going down each one. So I hate that saying so much, because you don't know what that light's gonna be, whether it's a deceit or if it is truly a light, and
there's no end of the tunnel.
There is
either.
no end of the tunnel until you die, right?
Yeah.
But the point is, if you're conditioning your heart for joy, if you are giving yourself an attitude of gratitude, if you're being grateful for where you are, what you have, and being consistent in that, happiness will come through that. But it's not always going to be, I'm giddy happy. Sometimes, like, I am happy. I may not look it. I may be kind of sad for whatever is going on in life, but I am happy because I am joyful. I'm thankful for what I've been given, what I'm doing in my life. I have a great job. I have great friends. I have a lot of, good people surrounding me, because I did the legwork to surround myself with people, and God provided the right people in my life. So even though I may be in the tunnel for the rest of my days, I don't care. Like, hit me again.
Yep.
Do it, because I'm just going to stand up faster, because I've gotten hit before. So you can hit me again with a train. I know what it feels like. Now I'll just stand up. It's not going to be a problem. But when we get hit by the train, especially, we say our generation, but anybody these days, you get hit by the train, you lie there and be like, oh, woe is me, the world is over, life is ended. It's like, no, it's not. And I get your pain, man, whatever situation you're in, it does suck. Things do hurt, and situations are bad, man. I know it firsthand, but if you just lie there and do nothing about it, nothing is ever going to change in your life.
Yeah, because people will just linger there, and they'll, like you said, they put their identities in their suffering.
Mm-hmm.
It's like PT says it a lot when addicts are 3 years sober. It's like, you're not an addict anymore.
You're not. You're free. Leave it be.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate the celebration, because you should celebrate like you are sober. That's awesome. But don't linger on that problem anymore. Leave it in the past. Move on. God forgot about it, so you should too.
Yeah, you're not a recovering addict.
Right.
You are recovered. You're done.
You're good. If you're still recovering, that means you're kind of still dealing with it.
It means you haven't really fixed the issue.
Right.
So,
and it's like, and that's not to go against people that have been addicts in the past, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you can use that as testimony, because testimony is important, because then you can relate to people like, well, this is what God did through me during the time of that struggle and that issue and that addiction. Now I'm free of it because of God and because of the hard work that He allowed me to put into it. Now I'm free. I'm sober. I'm clean. I don't have to worry about this issue anymore. You should do that too.
yeah.
But it's not like, well, no, we can celebrate again, and I'm all for celebrations. I think it's important, but don't linger on it. Don't allow even being free of something to be, this worship, because it's not.
Yeah, it's good to see how far you've come too, because when you look back on who you were and you see that you've improved, you can be like, wow, I really did something there, and then it kind of motivates you to do it again.
Yeah.
And just become better and better.
Well, you said something really interesting too earlier. You said how we think we're the first person, or we think we're the main character.
Yeah.
And I always think about, there's a comedian who made a joke about, he was talking about, we always, when we're at the movies, there's Tom Cruise, and we're like, that's me, I'm Tom Cruise. It's like, no, you're not. And the comedian would go on and make a joke like, you're the guy in the back with the calculator in his pants, and his glasses are broken, and you're carrying the 8 blueprints, and you're falling over 8 blocks back. That's you. But in reality, like, it is. We're not Tom Cruise.
No.
You know, we're the extra who's not even an extra. We're all the way over there.
Our names aren't even in
Our
the
names aren't
credits,
even in the
man.
credits. And it's not because it's not about us. Life isn't about us.
Yeah.
You know, and we do exist here, but it's about letting all that go and allowing God to move in your life so we can reach people, you know, and show love and respect the way it's supposed to be done. But when we get wrapped up in that first person view, because it's like a video game, right? And I did this, I went and spoke at the youth group at our Orange campus, and I talked about perspective, and I used the first person shooter kind of point of view. It's the same thing. If we think we're the main character, we're going to be very selfish people. And we're going to make life about ourselves dreadfully because we're always looking right here. And we're always going to miss things because if I'm only focused on what's in front of me, I'm going to miss everything because I'm only thinking about myself. But then you have the third person point of view where you're looking up from, you know, the eagle eye view, looking down at your character. Turns out there's a lot of stuff behind you that you're missing out on because you're so self-focused. You're forgetting all those other NPCs that are back there actually trying to kill you. But you don't know that they're there. But then you also miss that quest that's over there where you can go and get a cool sword or, you know, go and save a damsel in distress. You're missing out on that quest because you're focused on what's right here and you're not in third person. You got to have that eagle eye view looking down at everything else and stop making it about yourself in your first person.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's heavy stuff.
You have a flashlight on your hat.
I do.
I've been thinking about
I'll
that
turn
the
it
whole
on.
time.
I'll turn it on.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's got 3 different modes, and then that's off.
Like part of my brain was on that the whole time.
Wow. Well, you could have mentioned it earlier. I would have.
I
would have turned it on
cool.
earlier. Too.
You're wearing a beanie with a
Do you
flashlight.
think it's time?
Do you think it's time?
No. I have to ask you the question.
You have to ask me the
first.
question. Okay.
So,
Mhm.
you're 26.
I am 26.
When do you want to get married and have kids?
I'm good and ready to go whenever that person shows up. I've been married before. Things didn't work out, so it's, you know, we went our separate ways, but that doesn't deter me for wanting to be married again and do it right this time around. I'm ready for it. I'm good to go, but I'm not necessarily, like, I don't have anything to pursue at the moment. I don't have anyone to pursue that I feel led to pursue, so I'm not really working on anything, but you know, if God brings that person, I will pursue the heck out of them.
Yeah.
I'd love to have kids. I want to have 4 at max. I don't know what they would be named, called, or whatever, or just child. I want maximum 4 kids, but I'd love to adopt. I would love to be able to have a big home and provide just a large space for kids to just do their thing and grow and have opportunities that they don't always, you know, get to have. Especially those kids that I don't necessarily want to, like, I would adopt a baby, right? But I also want to adopt those kids that are already kind of in life and don't know what to do because they don't have a parent, they don't have a proper role model, they don't have anything. If they don't have a home, dude, I got a bed. Like, I want you to come and, you know, and I want that, and I'm hoping, you know, God brings a woman that also feels passionate about that.
Yeah.
'Cause, man, that would be great. That'd be awesome.
Well, good for you. Yeah, I feel kind of similar. I would like to get married as early as possible, though, and I don't know. I mean, I'm 19. It's not like... Or am I 19?
Are you?
19?
Are you 19 or 20?
I'm 19.
I thought you were 20.
I thought I was 18 for a second. I'm 19.
Honestly, if people are so against marrying young, I don't think it's about the age. It's about the maturity.
Yeah, I
Hugely.
think... Actually, because I was sick. Did I talk to you about... I was sick, like, right after Halloween.
This past Halloween?
Yeah.
Really?
I got, like, really sick for like a month, and I lost 20 pounds.
Did you eat too much candy?
No, I didn't. I didn't have
man.
any candy, unfortunately. But I got really sick. And
Yeah.
I had like a couple panic attacks at work,
No.
which is kind of what started it.
Sure.
And it was right after I ate lunch. And I've always like, everything happens to me. Everything. I'm not the main character.
You're not the main character, Joey.
But like, I had appendicitis.
Oh, man.
So I had my appendix removed.
Yeah.
I've been to the, since I'm gluten free.
Right.
When I was younger, I lost like 15 pounds in the summer, and that was me going from like 70 pounds to 55 pounds.
Yeah.
So I was tiny. And I got blood tests, x-rays, everything.
Right.
Cameras up my nose, down my throat. Like,
Yeah.
So I always get like sick, like serious stuff always happens to
Yeah.
me for some reason. So when I had these like panic attacks after lunch at work,
Yeah.
I thought I like ate something I was allergic to. So then something in my body sprang up where like every time I ate, I would get like super anxious. So I just stopped like eating. I basically stopped eating. So I lost 20 pounds. And that's why I've not going to jiu-jitsu right now.
Yeah.
But this week I'm back in the gym, and I feel better. I still feel a little It's weird.
So it's
been changing.
You don't know what caused like the initial sickness?
No. I think it was the anxiety attacks. Like my body, like I eat lunch and I get an anxiety attack 2 days in a row. So my body's going to think, well, if you eat, you're going to feel like you're dying.
That's so weird.
Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know. So I always like end up getting sick. So I was scared something was wrong with me. But now I don't know. I'm better now.
With what you were eating at that time, was it still like you were still doing like gluten-free stuff and whatnot?
Yeah,
so it wasn't
well,
anything
of
like
course,
that?
yeah. But that's kind of why I hopped on a like carnivore diet and did carnivore for a month because I'm like, because I still didn't feel good. It was like mid-December at that point, and I was like, I'm just gonna cut out as much as I can. It's not red meat that's causing it. I know it's not. So I'm just gonna basically have red meat and eggs. And speaking of eggs. But yeah, so I was like, all right, I'll cut out everything in it. And I do feel better, but not enough better like that it was something in my diet, which actually surprisingly gives me a lot of clarity because I'm not worried about eating anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think it was like a stress thing and maybe because of it just caused like the queasiness and the panic?
Well, I'm not having caffeine anymore either.
Yeah.
So I would work at Home Depot at like 6 a.m. And I mean that's pretty early.
Morning shift, yeah.
And I would, or at least for me, that's an early time to wake up. And jiu-jitsu at that time was at 6 a.m. Right. So even on my days off, I'd be waking up at 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5. But I'd be chugging a bottle of pre-workout in the morning for caffeine to stay awake.
Right.
And I don't think that was really good for my body. And I was also working with my dad at the time, so I was a little stressed out. I don't know, everything. Like, customer service at Home Depot was stressful.
Sure.
It was pretty stressful. So I think it was a mix of just so much stuff, like, and with the pre-workout, taking that in the morning, like, super early, and then, like, I would literally, on my days off, I would go to jiu-jitsu 6 to 7 a.m., chug a bottle of pre-workout before, go crazy for an hour, go home, and sleep.
I wonder if you were just really worked up.
So my body just wasn't, I don't know. I mean, I still don't feel 100%. I feel like 90% though. So
you're back up there.
I'm trying to get back.
That's good.
In. Yeah. But I lost a lot of muscle.
Wow.
And I was a little upset. But, you know, it feels nice gaining it back. Yeah. And it feels great being in the gym and just working myself.
We have those goals now. It's like, well, this is where I need to be.
Yeah. And that's kind of, it tied in. I mentioned it because you were talking about maturity. I think I mentally matured a lot in these past like 4 months.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but I
Jesus.
I don't know. I don't know. I definitely matured, which is what you were saying. It's not about age, it's about maturity. I've kind of always wanted to like marry young. I always knew that. But like recently, the past like couple months, 3-4 months, I'm like, well, is that time now? Like, can that happen soon?
Can it happen soon? Can we just do it, or like let me just get married?
Yeah. Well, we're running out of time, so we got to do something important. We have a little bit of a surprise. You're gonna love this. We got eggs.
We have eggs.
We are going to be drinking an egg.
Yep.
So take your egg.
Here's my egg.
Should I get a rag?
Maybe.
I'll be right back.
I forget how we got on to wanting to do this. I think we were talking about Matt, who was on this podcast a few episodes ago, and he has these crazy diets, like eating liver. And we got to talking about drinking eggs, and we both said, we've never had an egg. We never just drank an egg. So I guess we're going to do that. Here's my egg right here. And we're going to drink eggs. To me, this is super weird. Rocky does it, and he makes it look easy. And that dude from Neverending Story, he drinks it, makes it look easy. And I'm gonna do it, and I'm probably gonna die. Ooh.
So we don't have like a napkin or anything.
We have
so
trash.
We're just gonna have to crack it over the thing. Let me put my headset. None of us have ever done this, right?
No.
I've never done this, so
this is a weird thing for me.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. I'm cracking my egg now.
All right.
I'm shaking.
Yeah.
I'm not ready for this. All right. Crack your egg.
Oh, I think I broke the yolk. Yes, I did. I got it
Oh,
on my
you're
pants.
lucky. All right.
Well, now it's more goopy. I dripped a little bit.
See, like, this is what I said. It's like, there's a lot of liquid
I
in
broke
there.
mine. There's a weird green thing in there. Is that supposed to be in there?
Yeah.
The green thing?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
I don't have a
Is
green
that,
thing.
is that a baby chicken?
I doubt it. I doubt it.
Did you get double yolked? Did you get twins?
I didn't. Not this
No.
time. All right. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
I'm not ready for this.
I'm just going to down it.
All right. I got water.
I do not.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Salute. Oh, that wasn't bad.
I mean, it wasn't good.
I expected it to be worse.
Oof. I should probably aim away from the mic when I do that.
I feel like I'm going to say I'm disappointed, but then I'm probably going to puke because I said that. But
You know, actually, I think a lot of people put salt in that. And now that I think about it, that probably would be nice.
salt with, yeah, it probably would be. I feel like I just drank milk. Like
It
without,
definitely was when it was all in my mouth. I
Yeah.
had to like break apart the yolk because I would not have been
oh,
able to
it just
swallow
it went right down. Well, that's because I accidentally broke it. I got it on the table.
That's okay. I'll wipe it off.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
mean, that's all I got. You got anything else to talk about?
We just ate an egg, dude. Or drank an egg.
Raw egg,
We just drank a raw egg. And honestly, it seriously tasted like milk.
like a men.
Is that what that is? Does this make me a man? Just drinking eggs?
This makes you Rocky.
It
That's
makes
what
me
it makes
Rocky,
you.
dude. If I had muscles like Rocky, I'd be walking sideways through that door over there.
Yeah, literally.
Pick things up and put them down. Get swole.
I feel weird now.
Do you feel weird?
A little bit.
Do you feel uncomfortable?
Yeah, a little
Do you want
bit.
to talk
I
about your
just drank an
uncomfortability?
egg.
He just drank an egg. But for some people, that's normal. They're just like, yeah, I drink 8 eggs every day. How do you not get salmonella? Like, that's a thing that you can get from...
I don't know if you get it from eggs though.
No? I swore you could get it from raw eggs.
I don't know. A lot of people
The CDC says you can get it
don't
from
trust
eggs.
the CDC. Yeah, I don't know.
That-
Well, hopefully, I don't get salmonella from this.
I'm a little disappointed. I thought it was going to be worse.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, in a way, like, I'm excited. Like, wow, that was kind of cool. It was, a weird cold consistency, and it just kind of went down. Tasted awkwardly like a weird skim milk, which I hate. But at the same time, it wasn't bad. But I didn't really taste anything. It just went down.
I'm actually glad it was cold. I feel like if it was warm, that
It'd be
was
so gross, like
so
warm,
nasty.
warm water.
Yeah.
No, that's gross.
Except like even weirder because it's an egg.
So you mentioned, beforehand, people eat the shells. No, don't eat the shell. Don't do that. That'd be disgusting.
I'm not doing
No,
that.
I will not.
I think it's, dude. Wonder what the shell tastes like. Probably doesn't taste like anything.
It's
right?
definitely crunchy. Actually,
Well, oh really?
yeah. You know
You
how
think you think it's crunchy?
I definitely think it's crunchy. You know
Probably.
how Tim and I make those videos for church.
Yeah.
We made what was it, 2 Christmases ago? We made like a how to bake cookies. Clearly, we
Oh.
don't know how to make cookies. We're just
Yeah.
taking a bunch of random ingredients,
think I've
throwing it
s-
in a
I-
bowl.
yeah, I remember that.
Remember? So when we actually baked it, so we just threw a bunch of flour, sugar, eggs. We smashed the eggs in the bowl. Just everything you would think goes in. Oh, here comes the burp. Hold on. Yep, there it is.
Oh,
Excuse
nice.
me. Well, that felt good coming out. Chicas. So everything you would think would need to be used to make cookies, we threw that all in a bowl, mixed it up, made it all gross, put it in a big pan, put it in the oven, and then just let it bake. And then we had like sugar cookies for the end of the video. I was like, yeah, we made cookies, but instead it just came out like this big platter of mess. And we went and we wanted to see some of the students, like the high school, was like, hey, would you guys actually try this? So they did. And they're like, this is actually really good. I was like, no way.
What?
They thought it was good. I think it's because of how much sugar we got, but there's broken
yeah.
shells in there. We're like, okay, so you don't eat this part here because it's right at the top and it's really thin. So it's like, all right, you can eat this corner. That looks good. So just butter, syrups, and sugar
Ugh,
and chocolate.
So gross.
I thought it looked gross, but they loved it apparently. But
Weirdos.
eggs.
Eggs. And that brings us to our conclusion.
Yeah.
If you guys enjoyed the episode, which you better have, please like, share, and subscribe.
Punch that notification bell.
Punch that notification bell so you get notified every time I post an episode. I'm going to try and do one a week to start. Maybe if I get more popular, I'll do 2 a week.
You will.
So share it. Yeah. thanks for watching. So have a great day, everyone. Bye.
Bye.